I apologize in advance for the long and rambling wall of text, but I am going through a difficult time right now. Let me start by saying that I love my wife and am very happy being with her. About 2 years ago, my wife, then girlfriend, and I were at a party. We had been together for 3 years at this point, and I had purchased an engagement ring with plans to propose. While we were standing in the kitchen, we overheard someone across the room say, "And that was the best sex of my life," which caught our attention. I had a few drinks in me and felt like being flirty, so I looked at my girlfriend, gave her a smirk, and asked, "Am I the best you ever had?" To my shock, she almost immediately replied, "Babe, I love you." I could not believe what I was hearing, so I asked, "What? Are you serious?" She responded, "He just choked me until I almost passed out." At this point, I was trying not to have a breakdown in front of several of our friends in this person's kitchen. Her hesitation made it seem like as soon as she heard the girl say that was the best, she was already thinking about it. We had been together for 3 years, had lots of passionate sex, and had gotten to know each other's bodies and preferences, yet she still immediately thought of this other guy. That night, I was internally freaking out and drank more than I should have. The next day, I tried to talk to her about it but could not handle it emotionally. For some reason, she decided to share more details, like how he was going through a divorce, so he was older, more experienced, and stronger. I feel like I can literally see this happening, and it breaks my heart. She then told me how toxic their relationship was and how he dumped her on Valentine's Day, which caused her to be so upset that she hooked up with another random guy. This was all before we were together, so no cheating was involved. But thinking about how highly she regarded this guy and how devastated she was by him leaving that she felt the need to hook up with a random person hurts me. Since then, she tried explaining it like different stores can have different versions of the best chocolate, but I explained how that did not mean anything to me when she so quickly thought of that other guy. Most recently, when we talked about it about a week ago, she said, "I wish we never had that conversation. I should have never told you that. It should not have been asked." I replied, "Yeah, I was not really asking, I was flirting with you. If I had thought for a single second that there was any chance of you saying no, I would not have asked." After that night, I quit vaping and started working out several times a week. However, as far as I know, she still thinks this other guy was better than me. And at this point, even if she were to say I was the best, I do not know if I would believe her. This conversation has haunted me for 2 years. I can go a while without thinking about it, but it occasionally creeps back into my mind, causing me to spiral and feel anxiety and insecurity. This all happened before me, so no cheating occurred. But when I think about it, it almost feels like I've been cheated on or broken up with. Our relationship is great, and we do not have any major issues or fights, but this memory continues to haunt me. I'm 19, and when I was 8 to 11, my mom was with a guy I'll call Chuck. He had 4 kids. One, Dan, was almost exactly my age, and we were super close. My mom and Chuck had a super toxic relationship, and when I was 12, Chuck killed himself. They had been having issues, and my mom had broken up with him. I saw him the day he did it and ignored him because the last time I had seen him involved a lot of yelling and throwing things. I tried staying in touch with Dan, but he left me on red and ghosted me. It was hard because my mom completely fell apart. I had to grow up so fast and learn how to do laundry and cook if I wanted to eat or have clean clothes. So even though I tried reaching out to Dan, I had other things going on and also understood he was hurting. But I ran into him yesterday at a store. I was friendly and polite, tried asking about him and his siblings, and he was super aggressive. I got the hint and said goodbye and went about my day. But later that night, he sent me these texts. "How dare you talk to me when you're the reason I don't have a dad? If you and my mom weren't such bitches, my dad would still be here and you two would hopefully be in hell where you belong." I didn't want to respond and muted him and walked away. But when I came back, he had sent me a voice note of what sounds like a recording of his dad leaving a voicemail. He didn't give me any context, but it sounds like it was a voicemail for Dan the day he did it. He brought up how my mom had left him and how I wouldn't talk to him. I don't know how or why he kept that,
but I didn't respond to that either. I'm kind of crashing out, I have other stuff going on, and now I find out that someone I loved a lot thinks I'm responsible for his dad not being here. And logically, I know I'm not, but until today, I never once thought I had any part in it. And now I know that what I did weighed so heavily on Chuck that it was one of the last things he told his son. Like maybe I was the straw that broke the camel's back. My friend wants me to tell my mom, but I'm like, absolutely hell no. And you know, a really selfish part of me wanted to tell Dan that his grief is worse, but my life was horrible for years after what his dad did. Obviously, won't do that, but how dare he blame me for this? I know, I get it. It's easier than blaming his dad, but it's unfair. And I feel like even if I'm the reason Chuck did it, I suffered enough for years. And then another part of me feels like everything bad that's happened to me is for a reason, and now I know what that reason is.
I made a throwaway for this because you never know. I was a pretty young mother. I had my son at 23. My husband couldn't take it and left us 5 years later. I was 28, a single mom. My ex did pay child support and had visitation rights, but didn't really help. My manager was a very narcissistic man, yelling, belittling, demeaning, demanding, never saw him without a tie and a button-up shirt, and always very fit. Everything has to be perfect about him, our office, deadlines. When he was my manager, he used to have only 50 people under him, and now he is the vice president of the company, a huge one. So that is something. I couldn't take my son to therapy because he just didn't allow me. Work is work, he used to say. Need a day off? Take a day off. My work could have been done remotely at least 50% of the time, and he didn't allow me. Yet he had some ass lickers who could work from home if they wished. Human resources didn't help me. I begged him, cried in front of him. He seemed to be satisfied actually to see me like that. He told me to ask my husband to go pick up my son. I am 99% sure he knew I don't have a husband. After yelling at me in front of the whole department, the next day he was nice and treated the previous day as a joke, if he was in a good mood. Once I spent the whole night awake because my son took a poop in bed and put it on walls. I cleaned it and he did it again. I wanted a day off. I begged my boss in the morning to give me a day off, and he said I should have asked for one since at least yesterday. I changed departments. It is way better here. My son is making progress. This manager, as I said, became the vice president of the company. When I left, his wife was pregnant. It's been 5 years. And I was told yesterday during the lunch break he has a daughter with autism, as severe autism as my son. His marriage ended too. He is 46 now, and more bitter and hysterical than ever. My husband is having an affair. I found out 8 months ago when a text from Henry said, "I love you, heart, heart, heart." I managed to sync his texts up to our iCloud and have been monitoring them ever since. Even worse, his mistress is also a victim in this. She has no idea that he is married. He told her that he is separated from me and we are going through the divorce process. To his credit, he does not badmouth me as the horrible ex-wife that makes him miserable. He does not talk about me at all. I also think that is because the evil ex-wife is a classic lie from a cheating husband, and she is smart enough to see through that. I know that usually the wife hates the mistress, or at least resents her, but I cannot hate her. I love her so much. She has no idea that my husband is a loser, and she is such a sweetheart who deserves the entire world. She sends pictures of the holiday cards that she makes for the people in the local nursing homes because the holidays can be such a lonely time for them. She texts him little love poems. When he says that he is stressed, she asks him how she can help. She is so smart too. Whenever she talks about something that she is interested in, it is like a YouTube deep dive, only in text instead. My husband loves The Deadliest Catch. She explained to him why the FV destination sank. It was fascinating. She also said how happy she was that the tragedy was taken seriously enough to make stricter rules about safety regulations to keep fishermen safe. My loser of a husband does not deserve to even breathe in her direction. I know that I need to confront him and tell him that I want a divorce. I have been putting it off. He would not be man enough to face her, so it would be up to me to break her heart for him by giving her the bad news. I do not want to be the one who makes her cry.
I just hope that she knows that even though she lost a cheating boyfriend, she will have a friend in me. I do not want her to feel embarrassed or ashamed for something that was done to her and not because of her. That is what I am dreading the most about the upcoming shitstorm. Since I have posted about this online, I have been the subject of direct messages and comments blaming me, saying it was my fault for leaving. I did not pay attention, I left him when he needed me, I ran away when things got tough, ditched him when he got inconvenient. Did he kill himself to avoid having to face putting up with me forever because they would? Etc. And that they did not care. To all of you, F you. F you all to hell. At first, it was bad. It was confirming everything I had been afraid of. I will be honest, I cried. I cried a lot. But today I went over to my sort of in-laws to hide from my psychotic landlord, and they drove me down to his birthplace and burial place in South Armagh. And in a way, it did help. The small picture of him grinning with his arm around me, I'm cropped out obviously, on the headstone was obviously very difficult to see, but so many people saw us and came up to us, asking was I Saoirse and giving me huge hugs, telling me not to blame myself because these things happen. We ended up in a local bar, where I spent hours being regaled with so many stories of the mischief he got up to as a child with his cousins. They only lived a field apart growing up, so they grew up more like brothers than cousins. Hearing those stories was so wonderful, as well as knowing that so many people in the area knew who he was and still told stories about him. Even without me, he is still alive, and given his family, probably will be for generations. I created this account just for this post. My husband has a 19-year-old daughter from his first marriage, and I have been in her life since she was 6. I love her as if she were my own child. My husband has always treated me poorly, speaking to me disrespectfully, but I loved him. However, the last 2 months have been different. He has been mistreating our daughter, causing many arguments between my husband and me. She still lives with us and plans on moving out after college. A month and a half ago, she lost her job and was extremely upset, crying all day. She decided to go to her mother's house for a few nights to get away. The night she lost her job, my husband sent her a long, rudely worded text message calling her disgusting, lazy, and a disappointment, among other things that did not make sense. It clearly affected her. Earlier today, she was very upset because she had a significant event for her college tomorrow, but she cannot attend anymore because her car was towed. It stopped working due to bad gasoline, so of course she was upset. About 2 hours after that happened, my husband came into the room and started screaming at our daughter, calling her lazy because the trash can was full and had not been taken out today. Then he slapped her. I knew he was mean, but I never expected this from him. I am not going into too many details, but I screamed at that man so much that I have lost my voice now. I have never been angrier in my life. Although my daughter is not biologically mine, no one hurts my child. Anyway, I kicked him out, and I think he is staying at a nearby motel. But I know for sure that I am done with him. This might be rambling, but I just needed to get this out.
About 4 years ago, my parents had a major falling out with my aunt and her 2 kids. It was a complicated mess of egos, mistakes, and misunderstandings on both sides. Because of this, my parents forced me to cut all contact with my aunt, uncle, and my 2 cousins, 26-year-old male, 24-year-old female. I was never involved in the drama and hold no resentment towards anyone. My cousin's sister's, 24-year-old female's, wedding is in 3 days. My family was invited, but my father is adamant that we are not going, and he has forbidden me from attending. I, 17-year-old female, was really looking forward to it, especially since all his cousins were pretty close growing up. We spent all our summers together at our grandparents' house. Today, I decided to reach out to her after 4 years on WhatsApp to congratulate her and my brother-in-law. I wrote a long, heartfelt message about how much I miss her and how sad I am that I can't be there on her special day. A few hours passed and I realized something was off. Initially, I couldn't see her profile picture or bio. I thought she may have turned on some privacy setting on WhatsApp. Then, I tried adding her to a test group and I wasn't able to. That's when it hit me. I had been blocked this entire time. I'm not entirely surprised, but I do feel hurt and a profound sense of sorrow. I don't understand why I was blocked, as I am much younger and my lack of involvement in our family's conflict. I don't know what I was expecting, but I guess I wasn't expecting to be shut out so completely.